For those who feel drawn to be initiated, I offer this. Feel yourself at the base of your spine, the root of your life. It is called the Muladhara chakra. But I ask you to focus also on your feet and your legs if you cannot feel that. Focus on that part of you which stands and connects to the earth. Allow yourself to feel that. Now, remember the energy which I initiated, which I introduced you to. Hold that in your mind and allow that to begin to well up within you from that space in your Muladhara. Extend your hands. Allow the energy to flow from your Muladhara through your hands. I will draw the energy through the earth, through a circle, through you. Allow this circuit to be complete. Allow it to flow freely. Trust the flow from your Muladhara through your hands. I suggest you place your hands on a place that needs to be healed, that needs to be touched, and allow the energy to flow into that place. If you do not feel a place in yourself that you feel needs healing, if you do not feel a place in another person nearby, it is possible to direct this to the earth right now. But still you must find a way to allow this to flow into a body soon. Any painful place you have is sufficient. This completes the first initiation. I suggest you practice this immediately, as I said.
Reiki, I feel is very important for people to understand. They're using Reiki energy like it's just a substance that they can just play around with, without seeing the great compassion that even allows it to exist.
If one is flowing with love and compassion, then I am there very easily, and this force of God can flow through me, flow through you, flow through anyone. I bring this to human beings out of a sense of friendliness and kinship. As I said, most of the elves are inaccessible to humankind. I see a great need for humanity to be touched, and so I touch them.
Where does this need that you see come from? Why does it well up in you?
I see the divinity within human beings, and I see much suffering. It is not in my nature to stand idly by when there is suffering. In many cases, suffering must be dealt with by destruction of the source of suffering. This is why we may go to war. But in many cases, suffering can be dealt with directly by this healing energy, by this which my own touch allows. I can flow very easily through any human being who is acting in compassion or in love. Or simply awareness.
What do you say to people who can't believe that something like this can heal a serious illness like cancer or AIDS or something fatal?
Most of the time, fatality is caused by a very small thing originally. The easiest possible situation is to stop the small thing before it becomes a big thing. But even once it's become a big thing, its roots usually connect to a very small point. Think of a tree. A very large oak tree may spread out above and spread out below, but it passes through a single point where the roots are connected to the tree itself. Sometimes a small thing can sever that connection, and the tree, or the cancer, or whatever affliction bothers the person is able to be destroyed. You may also think of, there are other metaphors, but they're unnecessary. The truth of the matter is, in very many cases that you can think of, something very small moves something very large. How is this so far-fetched? I only say this because it is perception that this is a very small thing. We start at the core of the problem. I speak to the wound which sees prayer as a small thing. But prayer also can start at the core of the problem. Can also break the point where the roots in the tree connect. I speak to the wound which thinks that love and compassion are small things. But love and compassion have oftentimes brought great comfort to people, oftentimes averted disasters, wars, and indeed diseases. So if you believe that they're a small thing, think of all the times whenever small things have moved very large things. But in truth, I cannot speak of many bigger things than compassion, love, the energy of God, my own touch, your movement of compassion. Small and big are confused in your mind, but this is irrelevant. As I said, the woundedness that someone would speak from is that these quite powerful things are too small. But they are not.
What is the most important thing the world needs to know right now?
The most important thing that the world needs to know right now is that nothing you have said about, none of the mistakes you have made are permanent or incorrectible. It is not as if even the separation that you have from your perception of the divine realms is necessary, permanent, or not correctable. Everything can be changed. You must simply take the reins of your life. I would add, I do not mean this in the way that many people mean this. The truth of the matter is, there are karmas and decisions which have been made by people, but nothing is insurmountable. People think of themselves as infinitely distant from God. People think of themselves as infinitely distant from their truth. In reality, they're always closer than they believe, always far closer. Every sage at all times has said this. I say only the same thing, that God is a breath away from you.